Welcome to today's unsupervised seminar. Today you'll be making a plan for changing the behavior. First we'll look at some theory. We'll look at the changing of antecedents and the changing strategies as proposed by Pryor in Don't Shoot the Dog. Afterwards I will describe the assignment in the specifics of how you will be carrying it out today. Okay, so why do we discuss these themes today? Well, you've all looked at the causes for your behavior, you've been noting it down, measuring it, and now it's time to think of the methods to change the behavior. And it's specifically important to know how do these methods fit my specific behavior, because there's a lot of different options and you'll see that some will fit it and others won't. So let's talk about the changing of antecedents. We can do these by evaluating self-statements, or otherwise known as convictions. I always have to do the right thing. If I don't study hard enough, I'm stupid. I must not start anything before knowing all the risks. Well, you could say that some of these seem faulty. So it's important to check the beliefs that may be the ground for your behavior, to see if these beliefs are deemed to be true. The other thing is you want to check if this belief is helping you. Well, my guess is since you want to change a certain behavior, the answer to both of these questions would probably be no, but that's for you to explore. So how to change these antecedents? Well, one of the techniques is simply by avoiding it. So do not leave cookies on the table if you tend to eat a lot of sugary snacks. Limiting yourself. So you can only ruminate on your life on a set time or in a specific spot. So limit yourself in the undesired behavior. Well, changing the cognitions that are the base for these antecedents. Yeah, candy is not a comfort food, but it's an unhealthy carb bomb. This will cause you to see the undesired behavior in a different perspective. Take a break, take a moment of time, stop, think, and then do. Is this a good idea? This also leads to some of the others, so this will also allow you to assess the severity of the behavior or the antecedents. So stop and assess the situation. This will also allow you to break the chain reaction, the normal pattern of reacting to the stimuli. And you can break that by being conscious of what is leading to that behavior. And this will allow you to change that. Well, you could also think of creating new antecedents, replacing negative self-statements by positive self-instructions. So you may have these beliefs. I am shy when dating. What could you do is give yourself some overriding self-instruction, like I'm going to look him in the eye and ask questions. Others are to replace obsessive thoughts. I can't do this. I'm well prepared, so I can do it. So overwriting these thoughts, creating new stimuli. Well, if you have trouble going to the gym, have a sport buddy, or maybe if you want to study, always have the same study spot. Generalizing stimuli. For example, if you have trouble talking to a group of strangers, start with talking to one stranger and then 3 strangers, and use those positive experiences and those will carry over and generalize over other situations, such as talking to a group of strangers. Pre-commitment and programming of social environment. You'd have to think of this as, oh, there's no example here, but I can give one. So you want to program the external environment so to help you in having the desired behavior. And this would be, for example, I will tell all of my friends I do not want a cigarette. Do not give me one, whatever I do. And then when you get that immense craving and you ask one of your friends, can I have a cigarette? Oh no, man, you told me to not do that. That will also help in creating new antecedents. So let's talk a bit about the literature found in prior. Well, you've all had it by now in introduction, reinforcement. So these are some reinforcement strategies. You have positive reinforcement, adding positive consequences, and negative reinforcement, removing negative consequences. These both make the behavior occur more often. They motivate you for that behavior. The others are restraining forces. So you can think of punishment, adding negative consequences, and extinction, removing positive consequences. I also have a few examples for that. So to increase motivation by giving something positive reinforcement, you can think of a compliment. To take away something, negative reinforcement, taking away a negative stimulus, stop frowning, for example. How to reduce motivation for a specific behavior by giving something as punishment. So giving someone a slap in the face will probably make that person aware that it is not a desirable behavior, right? And also to reduce motivation, you can use extinction, taking a positive stimulus away. You're no longer allowed to go out with friends. Now, so let's talk about shaping, because we want to work in steps, especially when you have a huge goal in mind. Now, raise criteria in increments small enough that reinforcement is realistic. Train only one aspect at a time. Before adding a new step, put the behavior on a variable schedule, what will cause the behavior itself to develop more strongly. Adding new criteria, relax the old ones. So if you are putting some incredibly difficult tasks on yourself, be a little bit more mild to yourself in those other aspects of life you're currently asking yourself a lot from, because you need the energy to change behavior. Well, stay ahead, plan ahead, know what you're going to do next. Do not interrupt the training session abruptly. You want to finish every training session in that sense, so it will become a positive reinforcer. Deteriorating behavior, if you fail to hold on to the behavior, go back to step one, start over, and stop at a high note. So always stop with a positive end, so the experience itself will be known as positive. Well, shaping, using very small steps to create behavior towards a greater goal. Okay, well, let's talk about 8 methods to change behavior. So you all at least know the 2, 3, and 4 now. And shoot the animal is just completely stopping the behavior, but we're not doing that. So you'll be using methods 2 to 8. Let's talk about 5. So training an incompatible behavior, which means training something that does not work well with the undesired behavior. So let's say you want to stop watching Netflix till 4 a.m. Well, a behavior you could train then is getting up at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. in the mornings. And that will, at some point, if you hold on to that behavior, will cause you to fall asleep more early, because you cannot, you will just be that exhausted. So that's training an incompatible behavior to create a desired behavior, or removing an undesired behavior. Well, put the behavior in queue, add a reinforcer to the behavior, and when you do not use that stimulus, then the behavior will also not occur. Shape the absence, so shape everything that is not the behavior and do not give the behavior itself any attention. Change the motivation, which is a bit deeper. So that's also about convictions and what we've been talking about thus far. So really analyzing what is the motivation for that behavior and changing it accordingly. Okay, dus what we're going to do now is make an action plan which is attainable in 4 weeks. Plan and write down how you will change your old antecedents. Plan and write down how you will create new antecedents. Use at least 3 techniques from prior. You can look at page 99 of the book. These are them as well, so you can also open the sheets for that during this session. And describe every step and technique as concise and concrete as you can. This will also cause you to truly understand what is needed to change, and it can give you different perspectives on how to work towards that. So the assignment: split up in body groups. Do that first. Take about 5 minutes to decide which methods of prior you want to try out for your own behavior change. Use the time with your coach afterwards to discuss the attainability and possible hiccups of your plan. And then, if everything goes well, which we can all assume, that after this seminar, you will finish your action plan so that you can start with your behavior change today. So, after this session, you will start with your desired behavior. So, finish up that action plan, start with your desired behavior, and when starting that desired behavior, also keep up with the measuring of the behavior itself, because you will need that in the end. Well, that's it. You have the sheets to work with it, so good luck and make a great plan.